Greetings. Thanks for watching Karen Clave, the Feldenkrais Method. This is our part 4 of finding support to lengthen the leg. I hope you're starting to have a much greater sense of what finding support is actually all about. We're going to continue with our lesson. We don't need to talk about any props because we already did that last time. So let's just start on the back, lengthening the legs, lengthening yourself on the floor. And again, what's the thing that tells you that you have support? Is your way to sense the weight, or do you prefer to sense a kind of a spreading as you let down into the support of the floor? Do you sense it through your skin, or do you sense it through your bones? And then just take a moment to notice your natural breath without changing it, without making it a super extra special big breath. Just whatever your breath is naturally. And as you do that, roll your head. You roll your head very small, much smaller than you've done before. Maybe you're rolling 1/4 of the way, the right and to the left. And as you do, just tune into where you feel the cascade of sensations. There may be a response in the back of your rib cage or your shoulder blades. There may be a response in your belly or your pelvis, arms, or your legs. Bring your attention to your right foot as you roll right and your left foot as you roll left. Good. Please come and lie onto your side. This will be your left side. We're doing left side first this lesson. Oh. Settling with your props or not, depending on your preference, and your strap, depending on your preference or not. Knees akimbo, finding the most, you may notice that your comfortable region where your legs go is changing some, yeah? Let's do the pre-test. So interlace your fingertips, bring your arms towards the ceiling, and notice how light the arms are at the beginning of the lesson. And then instead of using the top hand, we're actually going to use the bottom hand. So that would be the left hand is going to grab onto the inside, palm up, the inside of the foot. If that's not doable, if that's not comfortable, I really mean to say that, then get your strap out. But do hold palm up as close to the inside edge of your foot as you can. And so just remembering again that the building blocks of this lesson are sliding the pelvis forward and back and sliding the pelvis head to tail. So if you remember that, if you have that in your pocket, this lesson will be easier and easier for you to do. So here we are with the palms up, holding onto the inside of the foot or the inside of the strap. Now, same thing, but it's going to feel different because you're using a different arm. So you're taking the foot away from the knee, but keeping the knee still. It's different to do it this way, isn't it? It's different to do it, particularly if you can eventually reach your hand to your foot. For me, I find it easier than holding onto the strap, but that's just me. I think it's because I get a better grip on my foot and I can really feel this relationship here. So after I do that, then you lengthen the hip away from the knee. So your foot is not moving on the floor anymore, but you are retracting your hip backwards, just like we did in the building blocks. So again, where are you pushing? Are you using this leg to push? It will help you a lot if you can do so. And you're not only straightening the knee, but you're really drawing this hip back. Bring it back there. Now you're going to take the same hand, the bottom hand, and turn it over and hold on to the outside edge. If you're using the strap, you still want to turn your hand over so it's palm down and hold on as close to the foot as you can. Again, I prefer holding onto my foot. And you're going to straighten the lower leg. And then you're going to straighten the knee by retracting the hip behind you. You can see that my pelvis is rolling backwards. You can see that I'm using this leg on the floor to help push me in that direction. Right? I'm taking this leg and pushing into the ground. That's what makes my pelvis move. Okay, now here's a fun one. One hand on either side of the foot, or the strap on either side with your hands as close to the strap as you can get. I mean, to your foot as you can get. Now, this is fun because you get to really feel how the movement of the foot kicking away from the lower leg makes your whole torso roll. You're rolling way forward on your waist and your head, and then coming back to the start. Please don't roll forward off of your side completely because you want to be able to return. And then driving the hip back. This is a tricky thing. How do you move that hip behind you? How do you straighten the leg by moving the hip back? If your foot can't move, it has to happen somewhere else, right? If this can't happen, then it's got to happen in my waist. It's got to happen by how I use this leg in the floor. Good. All right. Let's come back to our post test and sense how that is. And then return to your back, lengthen your legs, stretch out, roll your head side to side. I'm not demonstrating now. Roll your head side to side and feel how that movement cascades down through the rest of yourself. Sense the contact with the floor. You're relinquishing of your weight into the floor. And then let's turn around and do it on the other side. This is a lot of backy-forthy in this lesson, isn't it? Here we go. Setting yourself up, setting your legs up, doing your pre-test, lifting the arms towards the ceiling, feeling how light or heavy they are. Measuring whether you want to hold on with the bottom hand, which is the right hand, with the strap or with your hand, whatever works best for you. Lengthening the leg, the foot away from the knee. You could hold on to the knee with the top hand. That's kind of interesting. Or you could hold on to the rump. And then keeping the foot where it is. And somehow you have to figure out how to move that hip backwards It's the same rolling movement from the very first installment of this lesson, this finding support lesson. So how is the ground providing you with an opportunity? How is it affording you a way to go? A way to go that you've probably never used before. So that's what these pretzel-y positions are about. They're about creating a constraint which affords you a new possibility. Remember, in the very first session, I talked about finding support and solutions in unusual circumstances, which is what life provides us with all the time. Unexpected circumstances. All right, now you're going to switch to the top, to the outside of the foot. So you turn the bottom hand over, palm down, hold on to the outside of the foot, same thing. First, just the kicking of the lower leg. So this could be really difficult if I didn't have any way to sense support. I would be tightening my abdomen. I'd be holding my breath. It would feel awful. But if I can just start to let down into the ground and go, okay, I have a flat tire. Let me see. Am I in a safe place on the road? Do I have a spare? Can I call someone? Then suddenly I'm looking for support in an unusual situation. Now take the hip behind you. This is by far the most challenging. So if you don't use the bottom leg to push, it's pretty dang hard to get your hip to move backwards here. Notice your breathing. Let it be soft, let it be easy. It doesn't have to be arduous. You don't have to go, you could only go this far. You could just barely be perceivable, excuse me. Okay, now each hand around the foot, lengthen the leg, lengthen the lower leg, lengthen the hip, lengthen the hip, lengthen the lower leg, lengthen the hip, lengthen the lower leg, lengthen the hip, lengthen the lower leg, and lengthen the hip. Good. Come on to your back. Oh no, let's do our post test. So legs akimbo, taking the arms and floating them to the ceiling, seeing what you can discover about how easy it is to make that happen if you use the bottom thigh pushing against the floor. So you're climbing up the floor with your right thigh. All right, now onto your back, please. Lengthen yourself and sense the length of your legs from the top of your head. Sense whether your legs feel longer as you begin to roll your head. And to notice whether as you turn to the right and bring your attention to the right leg, the right heel begins to slide away on the floor. And as you roll to the left and you begin to look towards your left foot, if your left leg lengthens away from the top of your head. Simple little undulating movement back and forth. Not something that you're making happen. It's something that's already in the background that you haven't seen before. And you're now highlighting it. Like when you look at an abstract painting. Okay, make sure you do come and stand up to also sense the lengthening of your legs before you get back to your day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week for the grand finale.